Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me today. Good to see you all. Glad everybody's tuning in. It's great to have you with me today. We are going to be doing some readings, and I'll probably do some channeling. All right. Hi, Angie Wolf. Welcome. Hey, Bridget. Nikki said, hi, Hollis. Thanks for sharing your gifts. These lives are so healing for me. And she's hoping to hear from Bert or Travis. Okay. Or any other loved ones. Awesome. Hi, Nancy Ray. Welcome. I'm so glad you all are here. It's good to have you all with me today. We're live in the group as well. Welcome. If you're in the mediums group, I'm glad that you're here with us today, and I'm glad you're tuning in. There will be a live each day this week. There'll be a live tomorrow as well. Tomorrow evening and Thursday and Friday, maybe Saturday. See how things go this week. It's so good to see all, to be able to connect with all of you, and I'm glad you're here. Please speak up. So I know you're with me. Hi, Erica Hernandez. I hear you that you're praying for your husband to come through. And thanks, Shauna, for recognizing that I'm sharing in this moment. I will say that the talent comes more in working with others, like counseling, Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. I'm glad you're with us, Michelle. Hi, Donna. Thank you. You're welcome, Kathy. This is what I do. Hi, Elaine. And hey, Beth. It's good to have you with us, Beth, and Vicky, and Ashley, and Chelsea. It's so good to have you all with us. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Jackie Medvick, and Taz Dottie. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad. It's good to have you with me. And, that's what this is all about today, is about connecting. And a lot of people are going through hard times, especially right now. Venus is in retrograde. Hi, Amber, and Mercury's going retrograde too. Good to have you with us, Amber. So there's a lot of energy. A lot of the energies are going to be pretty intense this year. So just be prepared. Could be a lot of different levels of things personally, depending on your own chart. And then also, I would say, like, on a bigger level as well. So I'm glad you're all here with us today, and we're going to be doing some spirit readings. So I'm going to bring through some spirit-led readings, which just means that I'll start channeling a spirit, and your job is to listen and speak up if it matches with someone that you know on the other side. And you just let me know who it matches. Hi, Pamela and Linda Whitley McDonald. Great. I'm glad you're here. And, all of us are on our own journey in this. And sometimes, even if your loved one doesn't come through tonight, or on any of the lives, just keep in mind that a lot of that has to do with, like, some spirits want to connect with you, like, more in a private reading. They're not always interested in coming in out on these lives. So just keep that in mind about your loved one. And sometimes the messages won't be as specific as they are when we go into a private. Okay. So right now I'm going to speak my intentions. I'm going to speak my intentions in this reading in this now. And then I'll start channeling some spirit led readings. Okay. I call upon my spirit guides in the here and now. I call upon you to stand with me in this moment, to help me understand and connect with spirits on the other side, to help me more deeply understand their connection to us in the here and now, and to help interpret those messages. Help us bring validation and clear images through that can really help us feel connected. Thank you for being with us in this moment. Thank you for being with me in this moment and helping me to interpret the messages to the best of my ability. Thank you for helping me to connect with my ability, and thank you very much for helping me to sense, feel, see, smell, or understand any concepts from the other side to the best of my ability. I am open to your messages, and I am open to connecting with spirits on the other side that are in this, that have people listening or tuned in to this live in the here and now. All right. So I'm seeing I think I'm actually seeing a couple. So the woman, she seems to have long hair. It's kind of tucked behind her ears. It's kind of white or very blonde. It's almost white. It looks like she was a little bit older when she passed, so it had gone white. But she tucked it behind her ears, and it was kind of long and straight. Um, and then the man is, he has a lot of a large facial hair, like a beard or something, and it also seems to be white. That's why I think they're an older couple together, and they're together on the other side. So I feel like might be somebody's grandparents or something. They definitely feel wiser and older, um, and they feel connected. So her hair is mostly straight, but it's a little bit full with a little bit of body. And it probably comes down to just about her shoulders ish. Um, it's definitely on the blonde or white side. And I feel like they lived their life together here on Earth before they passed, and they were definitely, like, you would definitely feel them. You would definitely feel that they would be together on the other side. Like, they may not have died at the same time, but you would imagine that they were connected on the other side because they were so connected here on Earth. They're a very loving couple, but they lived a long time together, and they're saying that maybe you didn't always know how loving they were. They are connected to someone that's watching right now. Um, they really enjoyed having meals. That would be like having meals together with people. That's how they connected. So I imagine that she would cook or they would cook together even. There seemed to be something special about sharing meals together that was important, but I felt like it was at home, like home cooked meals more than going out, if that makes sense. And the two of them are saying that it was very important to them, probably more important to them than it was to you. And hopefully you sensed that underneath. And they're also saying that you're a little bit skeptical. Great. Just what I love. um, that's sarcasm there. Okay. They're trying to give some more details about the food. Like I'm pretty much seeing a nice looks like maybe a holiday dinner or something like that. Where they're putting food out and they're she's making sure he's helping too. Like he seems to have like a turkey in front of him or something. So that's why I feel like this is a holiday meal. Could be like Christmas or Thanksgiving or something, but it seems to be a large piece of meat like turkey or a ham or something. And this spirit is is indicating that he would have been the type to do that. And that was a big deal. There's some seems to be a couple of family members around the table. It seems to be fairly what I would call traditional, although I don't think that they seem pretty open-minded to be super traditional. So but they were open, they still had values in family and connecting over meals. So or connecting by coming together for a meal. Okay. Laura is calling out to Sue. I don't know if that because this matches somebody, Laura, that you think is connected to Sue. I don't know. But anyway. It also seems like it would be easy to talk to her while she was cooking. So I feel like maybe when you visited with her, you wanted to. It's okay, Laura. I was just wondering. Maybe when you visited with her, you wanted to. Um, you wanted to like kind of talk to her and connect with her, and that was often done in the kitchen. So, um, so do I need to recap because I see there's a whole bunch of people that just arrived. Um, so this is a couple, is a man and a woman. They're older. The woman definitely has like sort of long blonde hair or white hair. Could be white, so it could have just been light colored, and then she got older and it went white. So it's definitely on the whiter side. I feel like she's a little bit older. Um, and it comes down to her shoulders, kind of like reaches her shoulder and kind of curls up a little bit, if you know what I mean. And but it's not like totally straight hair quite like mine. It has a little bit more body than mine. Um, she is with a man, an older man, and it seems like they were very connected together, even when they were alive. And you would imagine that they would be together as they had passed. Um, they're both passed. They're somebody's grandparents. They're definitely still together on the other side, the way you would expect that. And they're traditional in that they like to have meals together with people. This is how they connected. And they're saying that you would come and oh, I don't know. I guess so, Donna. They're a couple, I would imagine. Um, Donna asked where they married. I don't know. Um, it sounds like Angie's saying it sounds like Heather's grandparents. Okay. Do you know Angie? Angie, do you know Heather? All right. Yeah, they're I would definitely say they're somebody's grandparents. And they're very, like, they were very connected while they were here, on Earth. And then when you imagine them past, you imagine them still being together. They were very connected together. And they like to connect over food. So there's a lot of different there was a lot of different ways in which, um so Angie, if that's your daughter, wouldn't that be your parents, or is that her father's parents? They're still your in-laws. So you know who they are. Yes? Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Okay. So as a couple, like, you would expect them to still be together. They like to connect over food. It's okay, but it's still your in-laws' parents. So you must know them to some degree. Yes, Angie? Okay. And so just because they're not your blood doesn't mean they won't come through and talk to you. Just saying. Um, that has nothing to do. Blood means nothing on the other side, by the way. So this couple, they like to connect over food. They like to have a big family meal. They like to have everyone over, and they felt like that was their tradition and that was what they held tight. And so, Angie, it sounds like it's for both of you. It's not just for her, because that's, like, it could be for you too, Angie. So I'm just saying it could be for both of you. If it sounds like them, I believe that it's them, and it could also, the message could be for both of you. Okay, so let's see what else they have. And in fact, she's saying that there were times that there were great conversations in the kitchen during food prep. So which one of you, Angie or your daughter, or maybe both of you, like to talk to the grandmother during food prep in the kitchen? Like, sort of like, discuss things or talk things out. It feels like it was sort of an intimate setting where you could have a little bit more closer conversations about what was going on in life. So it just felt really important. It feels very important to her. It felt like those were very special conversations. So I don't know what was said, but she's pointing them out. Okay. She's saying that it was very sort of intimate, private conversations. Okay. They're making a reference to what holds the family together now. And they're saying that, like, it feels like, is there, like, a feeling of that the family's not quite together right now? And she's saying that somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do the hard work. But I feel like there's some sort of disconnection in your family at this time. I feel like maybe your daughter, Angie, um, she hasn't said anything, so I don't know where she is. But I feel like they're kind of saying, well, somebody needs to step up. Like, someone needs to do it. And it feels like Heather is actually more suited to it than you are, Angie. Um, Maybe it has something to do with the family feel or the cooking, but she's saying it's not about how delicious the food is. It's about connecting over food, making the food together. It's about coming together for the day, and it's about connecting over a meal, which is it's a very different perspective, but very important in the same. So there's some sort of disconnection that y'all are feeling right now. Um, oh, I see. Okay. She's been wanting to move back to Florida with her dad's family. Well, maybe that's what she needs to do, Angie, because she is making reference to her granddaughter, saying that she she needs to choose. She needs to do it, and it might mean that she has to step up. And so maybe that's what they're calling on and they're calling on her to do that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not happening back there in Florida, and maybe it's because she's the missing puzzle piece. You know, sometimes we don't realize how much family would like to come together. It's just that because no one is willing to say it, no one's willing to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm the one. I'd like to have a meal with all of you. No one's willing to say that. And if no one's willing to say it, and no one invites everyone over, then it doesn't happen, right? Okay. And sometimes I think that's because people have been hurt, and there's been sad times and hard times and separations for a variety of reasons. But the only way that will repair it is for someone to be brave enough and to be open enough to do that. And I feel like they're speaking to your daughter, Angie. Okay. I hope that helps. I guess that gives her an answer. Since there's no feedback from her, I'm just going to move on. So this is I don't know if I want to age it, because I feel like the age that they're presenting at might be, it feels like maybe middle-aged is when they passed. But anyway, what they're saying is, okay, Angie, I'm sorry that her comments are not coming through. If she needs more details, we can go into a private reading. Okay. So this is a masculine energy. I'd say that he could be middle-aged to younger, but one of the things about him is that I think it hasn't been, I don't know that it's been all that long that he's been on the other side, because he arrives to me like this. He's like, I made it. Wow, that was freaking incredible. Like, he just went through, I think it was an accident, and it must have happened, or whatever it was, his death was very sudden. And very, like, all of a sudden he passes onto the other side. And all of a sudden he is somewhere else, and that's the experience that he's making reference to. So I feel like this is a young to middle-aged man that died very suddenly. And he's sort of like going, like sort of like he can't believe how intense it was. Like, so yeah. And he's, I mean, I'd say that he's not particularly big or small. He has brown hair, or like darkish brown hair. He's not a blonde, in other words. I feel like he's a white dude. Or, mostly. I mean, I don't know. He could be mixed or something. And he's kind of funny. He's kind of like, I made it. Like he's like overplaying it. He's over exaggerating. So Bridget, does that make sense for your friend? Was he kind of an over exaggerator? You said he was about 35. I guess he died in some sort of accident. It must have been sudden. It's been recent. And so all of that matches. So I'm just wondering if the personality matches, sort of like, like if he got off a roller coaster, would he be in your face like that? Like, would he be like, whoa, like that? Okay. He wasn't, like, when I said he was white, he's saying that he wasn't white. But was he a black guy, or was he just like mixed or something? So I don't know. Anyway, so he's kind of exaggerating. He feels his skin is at least light colored. Um, and he feels very intense. Okay. Um, okay, so he had black long hair. Okay. So some other people think they might know him too. Let's see if we can get some more details. It was definitely an accident. He's saying that he wasn't spiritual when he was here. He didn't believe completely. Like he was kind of questionable about this kind of thing. He didn't completely believe in it. He might have been a little bit of a skeptic. But now he's like, this is pretty cool. He's laughing at me being a medium and interpreting what he's saying and how he's communicating with me. Um, and he's sort of saying like, um, this is pretty cool. Like a little kid that just discovered a new machine. Okay. So Christine, I don't think it's a suicide. It doesn't have that energy, Christine. And Shauna said I might know this person, and Bridget said, yeah, black long hair. So he wasn't very spiritual in this lifetime, or at least not, he didn't believe in this sort of thing. Okay. He's saying that he kind of presented more like an atheist, where he wasn't quite sure that any of it was true. Um, and it wasn't just mediumship, it was like psychics in general. He mostly thought a lot of psychics were scams. Um, and he's kind of surprised now from the other side. He wasn't really even sure there was an afterlife. But whatever accident happened was meant to happen at the time that it happened. So it was very sudden. I'm not even sure it was an accident, because every time I say an accident, he's like, well, not exactly an accident. And so, but I don't think he took his own life. I think there might have been like something that happened all of a sudden. Did he get sick all of a sudden or pass very quickly? Okay, that kind of thing. Okay. Like this is one of those stories where like somebody gets like some sort of cancer or something and dies very quickly. Okay. That could be Maddie. That matches, all those things match, and the personality seems to be on point, like kind of what I would call high energy, I guess. High energy type of guy, Maddie. Was there something with his left foot ankle area? Feels like it radiates under from the foot. Um okay, Terry, that doesn't sound accurate. That doesn't sound like what I'm describing at all. Um okay, Amber, did anything else match? The personality. So far Maddie is making sense of it. Is any of the other people that spoke up about the person, do you know anything about their spirituality or what they thought about the other side? Was he kind of a non-believer, and did he have something up with his left foot? So is that matching? Everybody's afraid to say no. You can say no, because then I could move on instead of sitting here waiting for you to answer. Okay, you're not sure about the foot. He played football. It's possible. Maybe you didn't know. Okay. What about his spirituality, Maddie? Do you know anything about that? Was he a non-believer? Was he kind of an atheist type? Okay. Thank you, Shauna, for saying no. It's okay to say no. Oh, okay. Thank you for speaking up. I appreciate that. Then we can move on. Okay. Huh. So far, it sounds like you, Maddie. Sounds like you, Maddie. Yeah, I think we're with Maddie. Okay. Non-believer. All right. He was definitely Nath wasn't a believer. Right. Okay. And he might be surprised when he got on the other side, like, whoa, like that. He's kind of funny in the way he presents. The way he presents. So, okay. Bridget, I don't think he was murdered either. An aneurysm sounds more like it. Maddie, an aneurysm sounds more like it. Murders and suicides tend to have a lower, sort of a different key or energy to them. But I appreciate you speaking your truth. It's easier if you say no, other than me just sitting here lingering, waiting to see if you say something. It's easier if you just say no, that's not me. So then we know for sure it's Maddie. See? Yeah. All right, Maddie. Yeah, he's kind of high energy. He tends to kind of have a lot of like type of energy, like exactly like he brightened every room. I can see that. Let me see what else let's see if he's got a message for you. There's someone else that you lost, Maddie. There's someone else that you lost that he's making reference to. He's saying that everybody's okay. There's someone closer to you than he was. I know that he's your friend, but it feels like there was someone else. She said, is he okay up there? Does he see us go to him and visit, as he has met with my baby since? Yes. Is that your baby that he's holding? Okay. There seems to be a lot of energies around him that are connected to you. And he's saying there is someone much, much closer. I think that's the child he's holding of your baby. So, you miscarried. He's saying it's an angel, though. So what he's doing is he's kind of holding the child, but then the child flies away like an angel. So your child is an angel. You gave birth to an angel, Maddie. Essentially you miscarried the child and the child becomes an angel. This is very common. And it's, sometimes mothers think it's something they did wrong, or maybe they aborted the child for, circumstances that I would never ask you to explain, or the child was miscarried, or the child died soon after birth, or before they ever hit puberty. And anyway, so then the child passes and they think it's something they did wrong. So what I want to tell you, Maddie, I understand that you lost your baby boy and he was 7 months old, and I get it. And so what you should understand is that it was meant to happen that way. And your son was meant to come through and teach everybody that knew of his life and death, a particular thing. He was supposed to bring things through, and he was an angel. He was an evolved soul that just had a few last things to tick off on his things to be done list. And one of them was teaching about life and death, probably. And so he came through and he probably taught you about that, I bet you. And what you should understand is, instead of taking any responsibility for that, like you did something wrong, or you were lesser than, or you weren't there, or whatever it was, Maddie, you should understand that you were meant to lose your child. And yeah, he passed suddenly. I understand, Maddie. That's who your friend is making reference to. Actually, he's actually holding your child, and then your child flies out of his arms like an angel. like just kind of like just sort of dissipates and becomes an angel. And so what you need to understand about Bodhi is your angel now and watches over you and your entire family and everyone connected to you. So you just need to be aware of that, okay? Like, while it hurts to lose your child, it definitely hurts. God, it hurts so bad, I'm sure. And I just want to say, Maddie, that this is very important that you hear this, okay? Um, it was nothing you did, sweetie. You didn't do anything wrong. This is not a punishment to you. This is nothing like that, okay? This is totally was meant to be, and I'm sorry that this happened for you. And I know that it was painful, but I just want to say the healing will come over time. Okay, Maddie, it will happen over time. And just learning to accept that this child was much bigger than you could imagine, much bigger than their life, because they were meant to be an angel. So you didn't give just birth to a boy, you gave birth to an angel. Okay? So, Maddie, your angel is with you guys all the time, your whole family. Okay? I hope that helps. All right. Welcome back, Kristen. All right. So, okay, this energy passed from what I would say probably they took their own life. You're welcome, Maddie. You're welcome. Um, this spirit took their own life because they're it's just a deeper, it's like a lower tone on a piano if you thought of it that way. Um, rather than better or good or bad. It's more like a deeper tone on the piano. And they're saying, he is saying that he's not proud of what he did. He regrets it. There was some question of whether it was intentional, so that makes me think maybe an overdose or something. But there was some evidence that it was intentional. And he's saying it was intentional in the moment. If that makes sense. I'm not sure it was completely premeditated for a long period of time. So it feels like it was a moment of mental health challenge that was sudden, and then it kind of later he, of course, when he passed on the other side, he realizes that it was only a temporary situation. But whatever the situation was, he's saying that he's sorry for doing it, number one. Number two, that it was not like meditated for a long period of time. Like he didn't sit around and think about, like sometimes people that take their own lives, they think about it for years and years. And then they finally do it. But this person doesn't feel like that. It feels like something went wrong. There's some sort of drama. It almost feels like Almost feels like there was a couple layers of things going on. It feels like a lot of things about money and relationships. Um, and like that he was responsible for something. Does that make sense to Shauna or Christine, who are both saying that? It sounds like um yeah. Okay. Christine is pretty sure this is for her. But let's keep listening, Christine. Let's see who else. Okay, so it was sudden. It wasn't like something like they thought about suicide for many, many years and then finally did it. This was more like they had a momentary drama, bad times in their life, and that led them to doing it. And that had they just talked to somebody about it, they probably would have come to the realization that it was only a temporary situation, eh? Money problems usually are just temporary situations. Okay. So Christine's saying no, it was just over a weekend. Shauna saying yes. Carla says my brother. Okay. So let's keep all three of you on tap here, and let's see if there's some other distinctions that they can make for me. And it might be that all three of them are there and they might separate and show me that, okay? Yep, there's more than one here. My intuition is correct. So one that's stepping forward. Christine, was his work hands-on work? Feels like he's using a machine. Might be like something like in a factory or construction or something. Feels more like blue collar. Um, what I would call like either construction work or it's hands-on. This person is doing something with their hands. I almost feel like they're cutting something. Could be wood or something. But they're cutting something with a machine. Uh oh, okay, Christine. Okay, but Christine, that's probably not quite the same of what I'm describing. Jade is saying that also sounds like her brother. Okay. Okay, Jade. There's also other people that did the same thing. So let's listen to this person who is very hands-on. It feels like he built something or cut something. It looks like he's like very hands-on, like cutting wood or metal or something, and it feels like he's very much at work. But it feels like there's some drudgery about work, and he's also saying that like there was some money and relationship things going on at the same time. I also feel like he might have gotten hurt at work. Or like it might have been something simple like his back was messed up or something and he felt lesser than. Okay? So I don't know who that guy is. But he sometimes felt weaker. And this led him to feeling like he wasn't enough. He's saying that maybe you didn't have the insight of that. Okay. But you do know that the work was hurting his body. Okay. Um, and but if I say that to you, you might be like, "Oh, he might have felt that way." Okay. But it seemed like what you were aware of is that there were some um he felt isolated, alone. So, okay. All right. So since no one's reacting to him, I'm going to let him pass aside because there's lots of people that have taken their own life here. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. Who was it that had the law enforcement? Okay. Christine. Christine, did he sometimes feel hopeless? Did he make a mistake at work? It feels like something was made at work. Feels like it feels like some sort of mistake was made and he was afraid. And he definitely didn't think about it too much because it wouldn't have been the end of the world, even if he did lose his job. Like, it, and it was a mistake that he made, and he probably wouldn't have gotten in trouble for it, is what he realizes now, but it's too late now. He says he wishes that he didn't. Did he have a gun or something, Christine? He says he wishes he didn't have access to however he took his life. Had he not had access to that, he wouldn't have done it. Because he would have thought about it some more. Okay. So Christine's saying yes, he did. Okay. So I'm just thinking, like, that's like kind of like you said, like, if he had thought about it some more, he probably wouldn't have done it. And that's what sent him spiraling. Okay. He shot himself with a service gun. Right. Okay. So in the head. And he realizes, and he actually is saying that part of his death is also meant to make people think twice about having guns accessible all the time, because he says that if he didn't have a gun, he wouldn't have done it. It would have took him too long, and he wasn't brave enough to take pills and shit. So, okay. So that's, Christine, that's what he's saying. He's saying that it reminds me of this story I listened to, I think, on NPR a long time ago, about, they were talking about way back, I think in the early 1900s, there was a particular type of gas they used to put in the oven that if you turned just the gas on and put your head in there, you would just fall asleep and die. And people were killing themselves that way. And then they were taking their own lives. And then there was a big debate about if we got rid of that type of gas, that maybe people would do it less. And it went back and forth for a long time. And then finally they stopped putting that gas out, and people stopped taking their own life. The suicide rate went down. Imagine that. Sort of like the way the gun, as more people have guns, the more people that take their own life. Yeah, Christine said he always hated his gun. He's saying it's because he partially knew he would do this, Christine. It's not that it was destined, but he knew that. It's almost like you can sense what your deepest shadow or what part of you doesn't belong. Okay. Yeah, he worked a lot with mental health. Okay. Yeah, and that can sometimes feel hopeless, which is also what he was describing. Yeah. But he's just saying that he made a mistake or something at work. And he didn't feel it was recoverable. Okay. Now, Vicky said it sounds like my LH. I'm not sure who LH is. I'm assuming it's your late husband, Vicky. Vicky Rapogel. This guy has a backpack. This guy likes to be outside. It feels like this guy likes to be outside. He has a backpack on, but it also feels like he kind of liked to be alone. So part of me thinks that like he might have gone like fishing or camping to be alone sometimes. And sometimes he isolated himself. But you're welcome, Christine. Um You're welcome. Uh, he's saying he was more complicated than that, but okay, Vicky, he was always in the woods. That's exactly where it feels like he's camping or something. Like he wants, like he's got a backpack on, he's walking through the woods, hiking or something. Okay. It feels like he wants to be alone. Like he was always trying to like clear his thoughts, clear his mind. Yeah. Vicky said campfires all the time. I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. And he stayed a lot in his mind. It was hard to get him to like talk to you or anyone about things, right? He wasn't good at expressing his emotions. He said in this lifetime he was supposed to learn how, but it just got to be too hard, he said. And she says yes always. Yeah, it feels like he's saying that it just got to be too much and he got overwhelmed and he couldn't think clearly. And maybe if he had spent some more time thinking, maybe he would have not done the same. But he did eventually take his life. So I feel like there might have been some sort of relationship, or it feels like he's very distant, very isolated. He feels very alone. Like even if it's just alone in his mind, he feels alone. It was at the end of your marriage with him? Oh, okay. It was at the end with his dad. Okay. Okay. There must have been something going on with his dad, huh? Okay. Oh, it was at the end of his life with his dad. Okay. All right. He has a big headache. Big headache. Um he's indicating some pain on the left side of the head. Feels like kind of like right in here. Um anyway, he's kind of funny. He's making a little bit of like a dark joke. Was he known for sometimes making a little bit of a dark joke? He's like, I just wanted to let you know, don't ever do this. It's the wrong choice. That's his message to the world.
I don't see the world in your
So he's saying that he okay, she said that's how he passed. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that's how he passed, other than he took his own life. Yeah, okay. And she said all the time, so I'm assuming you're meaning the dark jokes. He's like, just by the way, don't do this. Not a good idea. It's he's saying it's not really what he expected. Um it didn't turn out as great as he thought it would. So he did shoot himself in the head, Vicky. Oh, that's what you were saying. That's how he passed. And I was saying the pain in the head. Okay. 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 A lot of times I feel those like that. But I feel the messiness of the mental health too at the same time. So sometimes it's hard for me to decipher. Okay. All right, Vicky. He just wants you to know that he regrets doing it. It wasn't smart. It wasn't what he expected. And he wants you to tell other people that. Are there other people in your family that might need to know that? He's saying there's other people that might need to know that. That it was. He's kind of saying naive. Naive is what he's saying. He's saying it's naive. So that's interesting that he's saying it's naive. Oops. He's saying it's naive. Okay. I see you guys in the group. It's just that it matched most with this person, Vicky. Hi, Cheryl, said Donna. Okay. His most important thing is that he wants people to know that his choice to do that was partially because he isolated himself. Second, because he didn't always have other people's inputs into his deepest thoughts. Number 3, he didn't share his emotions. And number 4, he wasn't connected with people. And the more isolated he felt, the more he was open to it. And that it was a quick decision and it wasn't a very smart one. Okay. So he did it while he was on the phone when he did it with his dad. I'm sorry about that, Vicky. That sounds really hard, especially for his dad, huh? Maybe that's who needs to hear that, Vicky. He's apologizing to everybody. He wants to let everybody know that this wasn't a good decision and that he's sorry for the trauma that he brought through in that, Vicky. So he's sorry. Okay? So you should know that. That's very hard. You guys can hear how hard that is. Yeah. Well, Vicky, I imagine that his dad doesn't want to talk about it, but you can see that that's the behavior that led your late husband to what he did. That's what he's saying. Not talking about it is what led him to do what he did. And that's exactly what he's saying. He's like, it's not like you have to like talk out every last detail, but you should get someone else's input into your mind. Don't just go around isolating yourself and pulling yourself away from others because other people's inputs could be helpful. Okay? All right, Vicky? So I just think it's really important that you know that. All right. You're welcome, Vicky. I hope maybe you can even show this live to him if you think he would listen to it. Okay. So I just want to yeah. See, you guys, this is why I do spirit led. Because spirit knows I don't know. I've never seen Vicky before. I'm pretty sure maybe, but she might have been in a live before, but I don't think we've ever met or anything. I don't think we've ever been in Zoom or anything. It's a pretty difficult situation. You can imagine her father-in-law is pretty so yeah. This community is here to support you, Vicky. It's a really powerful message. I agree, Chelsea. Thanks, Donna. Yeah. No, we've never met before. And Vicky wasn't out here like begging for a reading or anything. She just spoke up when it matched. See what I mean, you guys? That's how it works. Spirit picks the readings because Spirit knows if there's an intense situation out there, Spirit's going to bring it forward because that's what I asked for. Okay? So, you're welcome, Vicky. You're welcome. Thanks, Cheryl. All right. Yeah, it is heartbreaking, Tammy. I agree. It's really intense, isn't it? Like sometimes you think your situation is really bad, and I always say that, don't ever assume that your situation is the worst, because sometimes once we get to look in the outside world, we realize that maybe there's much worse situations. Even for the worst of situations, sometimes there can be some really bad situations, okay, that are worse than what we're in. All right. All right. So, let me just check in here. Was there another person that shot themselves, but they did it through the mouth? Because he wants to speak up. He's saying you're listening. But he did it this way. Feels like it might have slipped a little bit and somehow hit over here. Somehow it didn't quite happen the way he thought it would. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he was on like life support or something like that just before he passed. Or something. So Shauna is saying possibly. Okay. Extreme stress. I feel intoxicated. Oh, I see, Shauna. You didn't get the autopsy report. Is that how he did it, Angie? This way? In the mouth? Yeah, exactly, Angie. That's exactly what I'm describing. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Extreme mental health right here in the center of the mind. I feel like he might have been a little bit more like he felt like he deserved it. Like he had self-loathing. He said not everybody was aware of his self-loathing because he covered it up with arrogance and narcissism. Okay. But he was actually really, really disliked himself. Sometimes he would make comments that kind of would lead you to believe that. Like jokes and stuff. Especially if he got in a certain mood, and he definitely is intoxicated. I feel like this guy would drink or something, or he would get really screwed up on something. It feels like alcohol, but I guess it could be something else. And he really hates himself. And it feels like he lost something really, really close to him. So Angie says yes. Feels like he lost something really, really close to him. Okay. Oh, Angie said he lost his only son. Okay. I think he blamed himself. Okay. That makes a lot of sense, right? And he was always drunk. Okay. All right. And so when he got drunk, he probably got even more down. Is what he's saying. He would drink and get more and more down, and he would just kind of beat himself up. Donna, are you talking about the same person? Or is this somebody different? I don't know if you guys are talking about the same person or not. Okay. Right now I'm going to stay with Angie for a moment. He's saying that he got knocked off path so bad, and that him and his son actually had some sort of soul contract. And he didn't quite finish his, so they're gonna have to come back and do it again. So okay, I see. You guys are talking about the same person. I see. Okay. Yeah. You guys are talking about the same person. Okay. All right. So he's saying that him and his son had a soul contract. He was not supposed to blame himself, but he did. And he's saying that it was a mistake. He shouldn't have done it. Now he has to come back and do it again. So he'll have to lose his son again, but next time, or his child anyway. And then what will happen is next time he'll be given some sort of skill or strength or something that will help get him through. Maybe he'll be a medium. He even had dreams of his son telling him it wasn't his time. I believe that. Yep. He's saying it wasn't his time. He kind of knew it wasn't his time, but he didn't recognize what kind of mistake it would be to take his own life, which I think is something a lot of people miss these days that do take their own life. You know, they miss that, the fact that you'll have to come back and do the same challenge again. Okay. It's not, you don't get out of it. That's not what happens when you take your own life. That's not what happens. And that's something that people have to take seriously, you know, and consider the afterlife and consider that we'll be coming back. Okay. Oh my, Carrie, your friend took a whole sheet of LSD and was drunk. Oh no, I don't think it's that. Whew, I think it was Angie. That's a lot of drugs. Oh my gosh. All right. So I'm pretty sure we're with Angie Wolf, okay? Yeah, that's all he really wants you to know, is that and he wants everyone here listening now. I don't think it just has to do with Angie actually. I think it has to do with everybody listening. When you take your own life, it's not what you think it is. You don't just get out of whatever bullshit you're going through. You end up being reborn. Now, spirit is kind and compassionate and will give you strengths to come back with that will get you through the situation better next time. But they don't want you to take your own life. That's not how this ends. If it was time for you to go, you would go. If you're still here, there's a reason. Okay? And that seems to be really important. Thanks, Angie. I'm glad that this validates you. You're very welcome. I'm glad that this makes sense for you, Angie. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's beautiful. I'm glad that this makes sense for you. I think it was really important. And now that I've done a bunch of those kinds of yeah, Tammy said speaking to a medium has saved my life after my son transitioned. I didn't want to live. The knowledge of knowing he is still there is what keeps me going. And that's beautiful, Tammy. And knowing that, you know, that's what the astrology death reading that I do, that's what that's about. You know, the astrology death reading is one of the things that I do that really helps you understand why you're still here. So if you're thinking so-and-so passed and I should join them, before you do that, come check out the astrology. Talk to me. And let's try to take a look at what your purpose here on Earth is, because everyone has a special purpose. Actually, every single person alive right now has a special purpose. You just have to figure out what it is, and then you have to follow it. And that's life. And that can sometimes be hard, but it can also be beautiful and rewarding, and it can really fill your heart and your soul can just be on fire with love and joy. even though you have sadness and loss in your life, I've had lots of loss, lots of sadness. I've lost lots of people, and I was a death midwife. I've walked countless people across to the other side. I've held their hand while they cross, and I've communicated with millions, I don't even know, thousands, I don't know, spirits for years, for 30 years and or more since I was a child, and I've helped some of them cross over completely that were kind of stuck and hadn't moved on or didn't know that they died, and I've communicated with spirits in a variety of ranges. And what I'm saying is that life is much bigger than what you're seeing now. And if you really want to know what's going on in your life and you want to come to understand it on a deeper level, please check your astrology chart, because that's the universe's perspective of what happened. That's the universe's perspective. And if you want to know what that is, that's what it's for. The astrology chart is a map to your life, and that's why we have it. And that's why it's an ancient science that's been here for thousands of years, that is meant to guide us. And when we listen to that astrology chart, then we can recognize where we're supposed to go and how we're supposed to, what's the next right thing to do, right? And sometimes it's just a matter of validation. Sometimes I say, I really think you should do such and such. And you're like, that's interesting, because that's what I was thinking about doing. And that was all the validation you needed, and sometimes that's all we need. And that's beautiful. Okay. But astrology, that's the power of astrology. And that's why I use it for grieving people. I can look at the death of your loved one, tell you what the meaning of it was, why they died when they died, why they took their own life, what they were feeling at the moment. I can see all kinds of information about them, and I can sense them as well. And then I also look at your connection with them, what your connection was like. Were you, were you soulmates? Were you twin flames? Or what was going on there exactly? And that's all. It's all in the astrology chart. All of it. It's available in the astrology chart, and I highly recommend that you take a look at that. Okay. It's a one-of-a-kind reading. I'm the only person in the world that does it. It's like an astrology death chart reading, where I combine my mediumship along with the astrology, death astrology, which is a particular style of astrology, along with synastry and regular birth chart reading. So I kind of use my skills in all of those together, along with my mediumship, to bring you a very unique reading for the grieving. Okay? That is based on astrology and mediumship. Okay? All right. Jade said, my baby dying made me question having any purpose, especially since it was 2 weeks after my brother dying. Whew. I bet, Jade. It sounds really intense. So really, really intense. And I wonder what the astrology says about that. Thanks, Chelsea. I appreciate that. Jade said, it makes me afraid to live some days. I feel that if they could die so quickly, then it will happen to me too. Any of us can die at any time very quickly. Let me just say that. Like, you think doctors know when you're going to die? That is like, if you have ever worked in the nursing home or any other hospice or anything like that, doctors don't know when you're going to die. Just by the way, they don't know. Sometimes they'll say, oh, this person is going to die in, 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, and the person will be alive for 6 months. So, like, I'm just saying that they don't know what they're talking about half the time. And you can die at any time. Any of us can die at any time. And that's why it's important to make sure everybody in your life knows that you love them, knows that you appreciate them, and knows that they're connected with you, especially those that you are very connected to. You want to make sure that they know that you love them. Like, I tell my grandchildren every time I hang up with them, I love you. I tell my son every day, I love you. Every day that I talk to him, I say, I love you, which is almost every day. And then I would also say to my spouse every day, I say, I love you and I appreciate you so much. This is this is why it's important to say it every day, you guys. This is why. Okay? And because you can pass at any time. And that is the beauty of life and death. If life was guaranteed, none of us would appreciate each other. So, in order for life to have deeper meaning, it has to also be something you can lose. It's just the way of the human. Cheryl says it helped her so much with coming to terms with my mom's passing. Yeah, that's why you love each day fully. Exactly, Cheryl. That's exactly what I'm saying. All right, so what do you guys say we check in on my there's that entity, that being that keeps coming through. They would like me to make room for channeling for them if you guys are open to it. This is a interdimensional being. But are days of full moon affected like nighttime? Yes, Bianca. Doesn't matter if it's nighttime or not when the moon is full. Yep. Yeah. Are you? There's an eclipse coming up. There's an eclipse like Thursday, Friday. So we'll probably all feel it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You could feel it today if you have some strong placements there. Yep. See, Nelia, and I bet you now you are definitely telling people that you love them. The other people that are left in your life that are still alive, I hope that you tell them every day that you love them. And so there's no question in their mind that if you died tomorrow, that you love them. And I think that's the most important thing we can do before we die. All right, so everybody's open to the entity, the interdimensional being that often has messages for you guys. They are saying that they have some messages they want to bring through. So Sarah, you can set up a one-on-one with me easily at my website, which is kind of listed here in the video, but it's divineandrogen.com. I'll give you the link there. And for anyone that's like looking to mentor with me, I do have like coaching packages. A lot of people choose to mentor with me. I do have a lot of experience. And if you would like a guidebook, you can check it out here. You can get a astrology guidebook, or you can also there's also a guidebook about how to connect with your guides, how to connect with your spirit guides. And also I would say that there's, so that's available to anyone. You can use that code there to get 50% off anything in my shop, at shop-2. And also if you search, on YouTube at Bright Hawk Productions, you will find meditations, including a meditation to, she has it on her page. We did a meditation to connect with your loved ones on the other side. Okay. So they do have a name, Cheryl, but I'm not sure what it is yet. A lot of times, Bianca, the moon has to do with somebody's passing. Okay. Yep. The moon is often a marker of destined passings. Okay. All right. So let's see what this entity might have to say. Whoop. And now here I am. Hello. And I want to say thank you for being willing to listen and giving your consent. And what I want to say to you in this moment, in this here and now, is one very important thing. is that everyone is here for a reason. I've said this before, but I'm saying it again because there's people listening right now that must hear this. Everyone has a purpose. Every human being has a soul path that you have to follow, or at least partially follow, and try to fill in the blanks that have not been filled in before in the past. So this would be like each time that you live a human incarnation, the soul has to go through a process in order to evolve your soul to the next level. And this is what what we've been teaching, Hollis, is that the soul has to evolve to another level. And I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. It's just that the soul is trying to become enlightened, and that's what you would call it. Most humans would call it enlightenment, but really it's actually just sort of a higher vibration or a resonance in which that would connect better with the universe, that is more understanding that we are all one, or that we're all conscious. And in that consciousness, it will be easier for you to telepathically communicate and to be able to connect with others. So like that's the intention of the growth. The intention of the growth is so that you can connect with other beings, not just on this planet, but definitely on this planet, so that you can hear and understand each other in a more compassionate tone that helps you all come to a more understanding, cooperative, peaceful place. That is where humanity is headed, even though it seems like there's a lot of chaos and conflict right now. That's actually just part of everyone's process, but eventually everyone will arrive, actually in the next 20 years, in a better place where people will be more cooperative and more able to connect with each other in a way that will be helpful, in order to, because as your vibration changes, as your resonance changes, you'll be able to connect not only with other human beings here on earth and other living beings, including animals and plants. You'll not only be able to communicate with them, but you'll also be able to communicate beyond them. So if you are I realize that some of the followers in this group, some of you are connected to animals and plants and things like that. And as you communicate with them, what happens is that they connect in a way that's very similar to other telepathic ways that other beings in other dimensions connect with a person. And so then you will be able to connect in a variety of ways that helps bring messages through. And then this message will then you will be able to broadcast messages too. And that's why we're broadcasting messages to you now. That's why we're doing this now, is because we're trying to help people in the right direction. So if you're learning to communicate, if you're learning to get in touch with yourself, if you're learning to connect with others on a telepathic or empathic, most of you are already empathic. Empathy has become almost normal for almost everyone on earth right now. Almost everyone on earth right now is empathetic, has empathy. Most people on earth have it, and it's just where we can feel each other's emotions. And as that comes on board, then the other parts will come on board as well, especially when you start to take care of yourself and follow the path to better your soul in order to get to a place that helps you feel more connected to other living beings. And being connected to those other living beings will actually be good for your own soul, and it will help you understand your own significance. And as you connect to your spirit guides and other entities that are around you ready to give you messages, then you will have a better idea of what your intention is, what your purpose is, and why you're alive. So if you're wondering, why am I here? What am I doing? then just get connected to the beings around you, not just the human beings, but the animals and the plants and any other interdimensional beings and so on that are ready to connect with you, because all of us, all people, all humans on earth have connections to others, and that's how we communicate. And once human race is a little bit more telepathic and their empathy is increased, and you're more able to control that telepathy and empathy, then the more the rest of the universe will communicate with the human race. And we're just trying to help you get closer to evolution that leads you to peace, because if we don't, the violence and stuff will spread beyond your planet. It's like chills. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I get a little bit of the chills, which usually means yes from my spirit guides, so it's not a bad thing. But I just kind of get a little bit of chills at the end of that. They do kind of give me a preview of what will be said. But I don't know all the details and I don't remember everything. I have asked their name before, Cheryl. I feel like it's I'm not sure exactly. Okay. Good news, Sienna, is that it was recorded. Sienna is like, no, I missed almost all of this. Sienna, the good news is it's all recorded. It's good news. Thanks, Cheryl. On point. I'm glad that was informative, Elaine. I'm glad that helped. Villy, it would depend on what your intention is on the packages, but if you're coming to me for coaching, if it's somewhere between metaphysical and mediumship, it doesn't really matter, because either way, you're going to get me, right? And I'm not going to say, no, I won't teach you tarot because you signed up for mediumship. That will never happen, or vice versa. Okay. That will never happen. I will never do that. But yeah, you could just get whatever one feels right to you. Any of the coaching packages would work. If you just want a reading and then, astrology is the most powerful and most accurate form of divination I've ever witnessed. So, Delilah asked, I forgot this was going on today, so I've never attended one of these. So I already did a lot of the readings, Delilah, and this is the end. I just channeled the interdimensional being. You're welcome to rewind it so you can see there'll be other lives this week that will work very similar. And so that's how the free readings work. You can also book a reading with me at divineandrogen.com. Somebody was asking for the code. There it is. Carrie said that she was just thinking, what is my purpose? Imagine that, Carrie. Jade, it does bring a calm feeling. What's great about it is after I do a lot of like bringing in spirits that have taken their own life, which are very draining, by the way. After that, to do that feels so much better. I feel just better. I just feel better. Yeah, you can watch the whole thing. You can just rewind it, Delilah, and then you'll have a good idea of what happens when I do mine. Mine are completely different than other people's, I will say. Amber, you got the code now? It's live 50. The code is live 50. You're welcome, Amber. You're welcome. So, as you you want to package with astrology. there's a reading package where you can get, I think it's 4 readings, any 4 readings of your choosing, and you save a bunch of money. I think I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Billy. Trying to help you there, trying to help you. You can always message me after this. All right, everyone. Well, what a beautiful evening. I hope that everybody got a little something. And just so you know, there will be lives the rest of this week, and maybe I'll do a learning circle or something soon. And I appreciate all of you. I'm glad that you came to this, and make sure you check out Bright Hawk's meditations. You can easily find them on her YouTube, which, like I said, you can just look up. You can just look up Bright Hawk Productions. Oh, Jade saying, I think she means the death chart astrology mediumship reading. That's a really powerful reading, Billy. But if that's what you're looking for, it's the very first one. As soon as you click book now, it's the first one at the top. And it's a astrology reading mixed with mediumship. It's really, really good for healing grief. Especially when you're really ready to heal. If you're not ready to heal yet, but if you're ready to heal, that's the way to go. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome, Chelsea and Annie and Elaine and Bianca. Thank you all for coming today, and I hope that you're able to check out, like I said, there's the astrology guide, but there's also one for learning to connect with your spirit guides at Divine Androgen at my shop. And like I said, if you go to Bright Hawk Productions or you search Bright Hawk Productions like that in YouTube, you will find her the free meditations, including the one that will help you connect to spirits on the other side, your loved ones, which could be very therapeutic for you. It's very good for grief. I wrote it, and Bright Hawk played the music. I'm the guided meditation in there. So I hope that helps. And so I just wanted to say that. And I hope all of you are able to find the healing that you need. And I hope to see you all again sometime. And you're welcome, Angie and Jade. Thank you. And Beth, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And I wish the best for all of you. And I look forward to connecting with you all in the future. And, you can book with me at divineandrogen.com. And I look forward to seeing you guys later this week. Bye-bye.
Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.com.